If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. Good evening, everyone. I'm Corrine McCabe, also known as Kay, and I'm hosting the call tonight for Real Girlfriends Across America. We are a company that has a foundation and mission to build lifelong friendships with women across the globe. We will be bringing you hot topics each night, and we are always on the lookout for new topics. Follow us on Facebook at Real Girlfriends Across America and head to our website, realgirlfriends.org. Now, tonight I have on the call with me Corinne, Annie, Destiny, and Rain, and a whole bunch of other girlfriends. And today our topic is the importance of self-esteem. Now, before we get started tonight, I'd like to check in with the ladies on the line. How are you guys doing?
Hello. Okay, we're here.
Good. Hey. So let's get started. When you guys think of the words self-esteem and self-confidence, what do you guys think of? Because I know that the words self-esteem and self-confidence are often confused, and sometimes they're used interchangeably, but they really do have two different meanings. So who wants to go first? Like, tell me what your idea of self-esteem and self-confidence is, and what is the difference between the two? And go ahead. Say your name.
Oh, this is Rain.
Okay, go ahead.
I would say as far as self-esteem, that it's more of your opinion on your body, and confidence is more your ability to. Confidence is more in your ability to accomplish something. If you feel excuse me, that you are confident in it, I guess you could say. But self-esteem, when I think about self-esteem, I think of something that's more like reflective of our body and our opinion on how we view our self-image.
Right. Okay, thank you, Rain. What about you, Destiny?
I'd say basically the same thing. I'd say self-esteem is like how you value yourself, and self-confidence is more like how you perceive like what you can do and what your good and bad strengths are.
Anyone else?
This is Annie. So I think self-esteem for me, my self-esteem is more about how I look at my body, how I look at myself. More physical, I think, traits is where my self-esteem comes from, or physical abilities, maybe like my health and my ability to run or walk or swim. But for confidence is more of how I handle situations. So if I'm walking into a room, I'm going to pull on my confidence as opposed to pulling on my self-esteem, right? Because my self-esteem is going to help me figure out what I'm going to wear to the party.
Right. Okay. Corinne?
I would say that self-confidence is more or less like the belief in yourself. So how you view or how you're able to deal with things if you're confident, obviously, in yourself. So that's what I think self-confidence would be. Self-esteem, I would think, like Annie said, how you believe, how you look at yourself. So if you have a high belief that, you are, worthy, or if you look a certain type of way, I think that self-esteem is more like vision, and confidence, self-confidence is more or less like your ability, what you're able to do.
Okay. It's really interesting that most of you guys believed that self-esteem has to do with body image. And I think that probably, that's something that I would have thought as well before researching this. I think that maybe the media really does mess us up when it comes to that. Like, it makes us view ourselves in such a way that we start thinking negatively about ourselves, and it can affect our self-esteem. But when I looked up the meaning of self-esteem, the definition of self-esteem is confidence in one's own worth or abilities, self-respect. So basically, what you believe about what you are worth, right? That's what self-esteem is. And self-confidence, you guys all got right. It's a feeling of trust in one's abilities, qualities, and judgment. So tonight we're going to focus on self-esteem, not self-confidence. And self-esteem, again, is tied to our belief in what we're worth. So what importance do you guys think self-esteem has had on your lives? And this could be good self-esteem, bad self-esteem, just self-esteem in general.
And so when you say self-esteem, so you're meaning how we view our image of ourselves?
Yeah, your image of yourself.
I think, and this is me, I think that it plays, I don't know, I guess like my self-esteem, like I said yesterday, it varies. It depends on, like, I guess the time of the day and what I'm trying to do. But I guess it does play a important role when I'm trying to, like, I guess doing like modeling stuff, because otherwise I really don't care what people think, or and maybe I try not to put myself out there as much because of self-esteem issues.
Okay. Anyone else? I can go ahead and give just some examples from my own personal life. So I believe that self-esteem has had sometimes a good impact when I had positive self-esteem, and sometimes a bad impact when I had negative self-esteem. When I had positive self-esteem, and I'm going to pause for a second. Did caller 404, what's your name and where are you calling from?
That's Tawanda, sir.
Her speaker might be off. Okay, so I'm going to continue. So in my life, there have been times when I had good self-esteem, like times when I have a lot of, I think part of it is self-esteem and self-confidence, like in my writing, like, oh, I can write good. I've been writing since I was a kid. And then because I had that self-esteem and my sort of confidence in my ability and some idea about how much my writing was worth, I was able to go out and accomplish things like publish poetry books or publish, things on Amazon and things like that, because my self-esteem was positive in that respect. And then there have been times when I had really negative around the time when after I had my first kid, and I gained about 80 pounds after I had my first kid, and I was back on Depo. And it really affected my self-esteem. I felt like I wasn't worthy. I felt really, just unattractive. I just felt a lot of negative things about myself, and it affected my mood. It caused me to my depression to worsen. And so, self-esteem, like, you can have differing levels of self-esteem across different things. Like, you might have low self-esteem about, like you guys said, your image or how you look, or you might have high self-esteem about an ability that you have. So I think that it's not just, oh, you have self-esteem or no, you don't. So let's see. Annie, do you want to go? What importance do you think that self-esteem has had in your life?
Well, I think I told you guys before, I was very active in sports. My dad started me on soccer when I was 4. So because of that, I was kind of thrown into teams and playing sports and competition pretty early. So I've always been pretty competitive. But in the same breath, having a mom, my biological mom, who wasn't very nice to me, I became like I didn't want to be that way. I wanted to be good and nice to people. So in that sense, I think that I had a very good balance for that, trying to be competitive in the team sports and everything. But it was a little harder for me when I was doing things on my own. Mm-hmm. So I always challenge myself, like the big thing for me is that my self-esteem grows from challenging myself and then winning in that or succeeding.
Mhm. Mhm. So
but
basically,
don't get me wrong. What was that, hun?
So basically, challenging yourself to do more and then succeeding at doing more, and then that raises your self-esteem.
Absolutely. And then, of course, my dad also taught me that you never quit. So even if I did fail, I would try again and maybe just try things a different way. And I think the funny part is that humility is big on, I'm always talking about humility. And I think humility is really big on not getting too big of an ego when you're dealing with situations. But don't get me wrong, I've done it many times where I've had quite the ego and I've been shot down.
So have any of you experienced self-esteem negatively and positively, like in both aspects? Rain, you go.
Negatively, I would say like maybe body image. Over the years, I definitely had a negative view on my body. Growing up, because of childhood, like my weight was like up and down, and how magazines and like how on TV and everything, like skinny looks good. This is, like how it is, and definitely developed a negative body image. But I will definitely say, like, over the past few years, I definitely learned what my worth is, and that I guess through meditation and positive affirmations and stuff like that, and just loving myself more. And I don't really see. So the positive side is more that that I am more confident now, and also that I don't have low self-esteem because I know how worthy I am and all of that.
Okay. So do you guys think that, like, what do you think can factor into causing people, like, what are things on the outside of people that can cause them to have some low self-esteem? Because sometimes factors outside of us can damage our self-esteem, right? Like, if I watch Top Model too long, I'm going to come away feeling pretty bad about myself. So what do you guys think, what kind of factors do you think there might be in influencing your self-esteem?
Watch the Top Model. Just kidding.
Well, I sure don't watch Top Model. I know that.
Yeah, I don't either.
That's a factor. That's a factor that contributes to my good self-esteem, is not watching shows like that, honestly.
Nice. Yeah. I have watched shows like that from time to time, and I don't like how I feel afterwards, so I've had to, like, cut that out.
True, though. It's kind of crazy how your brain, you can be mini brainwashed in something when you really see something, and it can affect your image of yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's so true. Corinne, any thoughts?
Yeah, it's funny because I used to want to be on that show, but I'm too short. And then they did one season where they were doing short people,